Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Darren Holmes from Kaizen Mindset, Kaizen Wellness. Kaizen Wellness is a physical, mental health and wellness platform where we utilize skills, techniques, strategies from mental health first aid, mental health awareness, cognitive behavioral therapy, neuro-linguistic programming, PTSD counseling, the roots and dimensions of wellness and mindful behaviors. I want to talk this morning about a thing called a stress threshold, or the technical term is actually the allostatic load, but we'll keep it to stress threshold. Everybody has a stress threshold. Everybody has a place when they get to overwhelm, where they will then go for a strategy of coping somehow. That strategy might be screaming, shouting and crying. That strategy might be snorting cocaine and smoking weed. That strategy might be drinking copious amounts of alcohol. The strategy might be extreme physical exercise, so ultra marathon running, or somebody just decides to get up one day and go and run 30 miles. That could be a stress coping strategy. So any form of anything to extreme, okay, any form of anything to an extreme is generally a coping strategy to some element of stress. Now, the way the allostatic load or the allostatic threshold or the stress threshold works is, if you have a baseline of 0 at the bottom and you have an overwhelm line of 10 at the top, then generally we want to be somewhere in the middle. So we want to be there's a thing called eustress. So eustress is basically good stress. The U comes from Greek and it's good. So U in Greek is good. So good stress or eustress, for instances, like somebody that is trying to achieve better exam results, they will have eustress in learning. Somebody that is trying to be a better athlete, who will push themselves faster and further and lift heavier weights every time they train, that is good stress. It's eustress. And somebody that is chasing deadlines, so say you get a financial bonus at Christmas but you have to hit certain deadlines to get there, then that bit of eustress is good stress, because it will help you achieve your deadline. Distress is the total flip side of that. So distress is what happens when we become, we all have eustress in our lives. If that eustress becomes compounded, so it starts becoming distressing, then distress is obviously not somewhere we want to be. So the fine line of between 0 and 10 being 5, like a 4 or a 5 on a rate of perceived stress level, if you like, how much stress can I cater for today? We want to be around the 5. Now, if we go 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, we go into a thing called hyperarousal. So hyperarousal is obsessive compulsive disorders. It is the inability to sit still. It is the, I've got to keep pushing, because you see anything but mass success as failure. Hyperarousal can also come out in anger and violence. So yeah, okay, so you get the picture on hyperarousal, the inability to sit still with ourselves, because we just feel as though we've got to keep going, because if we don't keep going, then we're going to slow down and we're going to look at the situation. There's an old adage that if you got 10 people in a room and you all threw your stress into the middle of the room, 9 times out of 10 you take your own stress back, because you know what caused it, you know how to cope with it, and you generally know how to get rid of it as well, which literally could just be stopping. I do it all the time. I turn my phone off. I feel constantly agitated because I think at any second that phone's going to ring and it'll be a client, or it'll be a tenant, or it'll be somebody that is going to add to my allostatic load. Now, obviously, that's my job as well. So working with my clients, I can manage that diary, but stuff that comes out of the unknown can push me into a position of overwhelm. So the opposite of hyperarousal is hypoarousal. Hypoarousal is basically when we sort of fall into depressive states, and that's where things like guilt and shame can come into play, because we feel as though we're failing in life. So we go hypo-aroused and just go, fuck it, had enough, can't be arsed, where's the whiskey, or whatever. So staying in the middle of the eustress, de-stress is where you need to be. At about a level 5, you're the only person, you are the only person who will know at any given point in time where you are in that stress account of 1 to 10. And if you know that you are in a 6 or a 7, then I can pretty much guarantee you're being forced into stress responses. So the fight, flight, freeze, fawn aspect. And when you're forced into a stress response, then you will emote in different ways, you will perceive in different ways, and you will react, not respond, in different ways. Okay, I did a video over the weekend about reactions and responses, etc. So consider your stress threshold. Consider whether what you're doing today is eustress or distress or distressing, and take action to control it. I did a video months ago called Address the Stress. Okay, I'm going to have some graphics made over the next day or two with reference to the stress threshold. That will go on all the social media sites, it'll go on LinkedIn, it will go on YouTube. On my YouTube channel, if you hit the subscribe button, then you won't miss these videos as they get uploaded. The YouTube channel will become a subscription and a pay-as-you-go service over the next couple of months, because we're giving out tons and tons and tons of information on a daily basis for free. And unfortunately, we're not a charity, we are a business. Let's not be here. Let's not be in overwhelm, too many spinning plates, too many spinning gears. It is now 8:30 Monday morning. I love Mondays because what I do with Monday mornings now is I use it as a sort of set myself up for the week. I took that from my coach Charlotte. So on Monday morning, I still get up nice and early. I still go through all my own spiritual practice. I'm now on my way down the lake for a swim, because that is one of the best coping strategies that I have in my life. The cold water therapy, I've already had a cold shower this morning, but when I have the time and the ability to go and get in the lake, then that's what I love more than nothing. More than nothing else, I should say. Stress threshold. Where are you between 1 and 10? Identify it, take action. Darren Holmes, Kaizen Wellness, physical, mental health and wellness coaching. Have a fantastic Monday. Bye-bye.